Her story begins with a girl named Shizuka. She's standing alone in the school garden when suddenly, a strange alien creature appears in front of her. His name is Happy. This alien came from a faraway planet with one mission: to spread happiness wherever he goes. But sadly, since he arrived on Earth, people have been chasing him down, trying to catch him, making his life miserable. Until he met our heroine, Shizuka. She simply gave him a loaf of bread when he was starving, and even though she was confused by the alien creature, she wasn't afraid. Instead, she became his friend and gave him a name, Takopi. And the alien? He had no objections at all. He told us that Shizuka was a unique kind of human, clearly. Also, she's in the 4th grade. Since Shizuka was the first human to ever treat him kindly, Takopi decided to repay the favor. He gave her a magical headband, one that would allow her to fly freely through the skies. An amazing gift, right? No one would refuse it, except for our Shizuka. She politely said, "Sorry, I need to go buy some school supplies." Takopi was confused. He asked her, "Why would you turn down such a fun gift?" Shizuka replied, her face full of sadness. "Even if I could fly, it wouldn't change anything in my life." The next day, we find Shizuka and Takopi hiding from some school bullies. She whispered to him, "If those kids see you, they'll literally grind you into bits." Then suddenly, a girl named Maria passed by, walking with her friends, laughing and making fun of Shizuka, just like they did yesterday when they bullied her while she was buying school supplies. Shizuka sat there in silence, not saying a word. Only after they walked away did she quietly leave. Takopi then called out to her and said, "This time, I really want to repay you properly." So he gave her a magical camera from his planet. The camera? It prints photos instantly, right after you take them. But Shizuka wasn't impressed. She said it was no different from phone cameras. Then she told Takopi she needed to go buy her supplies, especially after she opened her bag and realized everything had been stolen. And by the way, that wasn't the first time this had happened to her. Days passed, and every day after school, Shizuka would meet up with Takopi, who kept bringing her magical items, trying to impress her. But it never really worked. One day, Takopi went with her to her house, only to find out she had a huge dog named Chappie, and Takopi terrified. The dog thought he was food and kept trying to eat him. Later, inside the house, Takopi discovered something heartbreaking. Shizuka lived alone. When he asked her about her mom, he learned that she works a bad job and comes home very late. And when he asked about her dad, Shizuka replied, "I don't have one." To her, that dog Chappie was her only friend. She saw him as part of her family. Shizuka asked Takopi, "Tell me about your planet." Takopi said, "It's a faraway place, filled with fruits and sweet desserts. You have to visit it someday." Shizuka stopped walking, looked down sadly, and said, "I can't go anywhere." At that moment, Takopi remembered what his mother told him before leaving: to spread joy in the human world using the tools of happiness. But so far, none of those tools had been able to make Shizuka smile. Still, Takopi didn't give up. He said, "One day, I'll take you with me to my planet and show you all the magical gadgets we have there." That sweet promise made Shizuka smile, just a little. She looked at him and said, "I'll see you tomorrow at school." But the next day, when Shizuka arrived at school and met Takopi, her face was bruised, her clothes were messy. It looked like someone had beaten her badly. Even worse, she was holding her dog Chappie's collar in her hand. Takopi was confused and asked her what had happened. Of course, he didn't understand the human world. Shizuka just said, "Nothing, I just fought with a friend." Takopi then pulled out a magical item, the reconciliation ribbon. Both friends had to hold the ribbon together to make peace. Everything would be fine afterward. Shizuka actually liked the idea. She told him, "I want to borrow it for a while. I'll return it later." But here's the problem. There's a law in Takopi's world. No one is allowed to use magical tools without alien supervision. But Takopi, wanting to make her happy, broke the rules and gave it to her anyway. That's when things took a dark turn. Shizuka didn't come back. Takopi waited and waited, until he grew worried and decided to check on her at home. But when he got there, he learned the truth. Shizuka used the ribbon to end her life. Takopi was devastated. He thought it was all his fault, that she died because he broke the rules. Tears fell as he sat alone in the school garden, until he found a photo, a picture he had taken with Shizuka earlier. And then he remembered one of the features of that magical camera. If you return the photo to the camera, you go back in time to the exact moment it was taken. So without hesitation, Takopi returned the photo. He just wanted to ask Shizuka one thing. Why? Why did you do it? And it worked. He traveled back in time to the moment they took that photo. Shizuka told him it was getting late and she needed to buy school supplies, but before she could leave, Takopi looked at her and said, "Starting tomorrow, I'll come with you to school." From that day on, Takopi began going to school with Shizuka, just to understand her life more, and even if he didn't really get it, we saw it all. We saw how badly the other students bullied her every single day, like Maria, who once told Shizuka, "You smell just like your dog." To avoid being seen, Takopi used a magical item that allowed him to take the form of a flower in her hair, but unfortunately, that only brought her more bullying. In class, when the teacher asked Shizuka about her homework, she couldn't answer. Maria had ripped her notebook apart. The bullying only got worse. So Takopi had an idea. He waited until he learned the answer to the question, then used the camera to go back in time and tell Shizuka the answer in advance. The next day, she answered perfectly, surprising everyone, especially Maria, who didn't even know the answer herself. But that didn't stop the bullying. During break, Maria and her friends brought Shizuka a mountain of food she could never finish, and then mocked her for it. But after they left, Takopi quickly stepped in and ate it all himself, just to protect her. And from that day on, every time Maria tried to mess with Shizuka, throwing away her books, stealing her bag, Takopi was always there to fix it. Maria, ironically, was the one growing frustrated now. Takopi eventually realized there was something deeper going on between Shizuka and Maria, so he tried to fix it, but Shizuka told him, "That's impossible." The next day, her bullies told her, "Maria wants to meet you after school." Shizuka was terrified. She hid in the bathroom, refusing to go. Takopi tried to convince her that maybe Maria just wanted to talk, but Shizuka refused. "You don't understand," she said. So Takopi had another strange idea. He used a magical tool to transform into Shizuka and went to talk to Maria himself. At first, it seemed like things were going well. He spoke kindly, with no aggression, but suddenly, Maria slapped him, hard. "What's with this disgusting way you're talking to me?" she snapped. Takopi was shocked. He couldn't understand her cruelty. She kept yelling, ordering Shizuka around, and then started hitting her, over and over. At that moment, Takopi felt just a fraction of the pain Shizuka had been carrying all her life. No matter what he said, Maria wouldn't listen. Eventually, she grabbed a pen and aimed it right at Shizuka's face. Right away, Takopi used the camera to travel back in time again. This time, he was terrified. He kept wondering, why? Why is Maria like this? Days passed again. Till the day Shizuka was supposed to meet Maria. This time she decided to go, on her own. Takopi wanted to help, but something held him back. Then he thought of something. He transformed into Shizuka again. Not to confront Maria, but to call for help. The one who ended up helping her was Azuma, a student council member. He offered to bring up her case in the next school meeting, but Shizuka refused. "Nothing will change," she said. "Don't tell anyone what happened." Azuma looked heartbroken. Later, Shizuka found out that it was Takopi who had called the teacher. Without him, things could have been much worse. And with all the help he gave her until now, we learn a horrible truth. Everything started going wrong in Shizuka's life, from the moment her mom started seeing Maria's father. Takopi didn't understand the full meaning of that, but he said, "I'll stay with you until I know you're truly happy." Meanwhile, Maria returned home, angry that she couldn't bully Shizuka properly today. But when she entered the house, she found her mother crying. "He's going out to lunch with that new woman," she said through sobs. She was talking about Shizuka's mother. Turns out, Maria's father was cheating and treating his wife horribly. That's the real reason Maria hated Shizuka so much, and why she wanted to hurt her.
And that's where today's episode ends, but Shizuka's story is far from over. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can bring you the next part soon. And if you made it all the way to the end, comment below. I'm an otaku. So I know you're one of the real ones. See you in the next story.